Welcome back to Wikinews.
In a world where cartoons poke fun at the absurdities of office life, one creator has always had a sharp eye for the human condition. But today, that creator, Scott Adams, the man behind the iconic Dilbert comic strip, is facing his own real-life crisis, one that strips away the satire and lays bare the raw fight for survival. It's November 2025, and Scott Adams is battling metastatic prostate cancer that's spreading fast, pushing him to the brink. In a desperate, heartfelt plea posted on X yesterday, he reached out not to doctors or insurers, but to President Donald Trump, asking for a lifeline in the form of a simple treatment called Pluvicto. And in a moment that's already rippling across the internet, Trump didn't hesitate, he stepped up, vowing to make it happen. Let's step back for a second, because to understand the weight of this, you need to know who Scott Adams is. For decades, his Dilbert strips have been more than just funny panels in the newspaper, they've been a cultural touchstone, capturing the soul-crushing monotony of cubicle life, the petty tyrannies of bosses, and the quiet rebellions of the everyman. Millions have laughed at Dilbert's cynicism or pointy-haired bosses' incompetence, finding solace in the idea that someone out there gets it, the frustration, the absurdity, the spark of defiance. Adams didn't just draw cartoons. He voiced the unspoken frustrations of a generation, turning workplace woes into a billion-dollar empire of books, calendars, and syndication. But beneath that witty exterior, Scott's always been a thinker, a provocateur, sharing his views on everything from persuasion to politics with a clarity that cuts through the noise. He's the guy who taught us to spot the talentless boss from a mile away, yet now, he's the one needing a break from the system he so brilliantly lampooned. It started quietly enough, like so many stories of illness do. Back in May, during a live YouTube stream, Scott opened up about his diagnosis, prostate cancer that had metastasized, the same aggressive form that former President Joe Biden has faced. He spoke with that trademark candor, no sugarcoating, just the facts, treatments underway, a plan in motion, but the shadow of uncertainty hanging heavy. For months, he powered through, posting his daily Coffee with Scott Adams shows, dissecting the news with his usual razor-sharp insight, even as the cancer chipped away at his strength. But lately, it's accelerated. He's shared glimpses, the fatigue that hits like a wall, the way simple tasks now feel like marathons, the creeping fear that time is slipping through his fingers. And then, yesterday, the post that stopped everyone cold. On Monday, I will ask President Trump, via X, to help save my life, he wrote. He offered to help me if I needed it. I need it. His healthcare provider, Kaiser Permanente in Northern California, had approved him for Pluvicto, a groundbreaking FDA-approved drug that targets prostate cancer cells with radioactive precision, offering real hope for extending life, even if it's not a cure. But bureaucracy struck, the infusions were greenlit, yet the scheduling fell through the cracks. Weeks turned into a dangerous delay, and Scott's body couldn't wait. I am declining fast, he confessed, his words carrying the quiet terror of someone who stared down deadlines his whole life but never one like this. Enter President Trump, whose response was as swift as it was personal. Within hours, he was on it, publicly committing to intervene, to cut through the red tape that's holding back a treatment that could give Scott more mornings with his coffee, more sketches on his pad, more time to challenge the world with his mind. Pluvicto isn't some miracle pill pulled from thin air, it's lutetium Lu-177 bipivotide tetraxetan, a targeted therapy that binds to cancer cells and delivers a radiation punch, shrinking tumors and easing symptoms for many patients. Approved just this year for earlier stages, it's a beacon in the fog of advanced prostate cancer, where options dwindle and hope feels fragile. For Scott, it's not about beating the odds entirely, it's about buying time, about sticking around to see what comes next in this unpredictable year of 2025. This isn't just a story about one man's fight. It's a gut punch to all of us, a reminder that even the sharpest minds, the ones who build empires from doodles, aren't invincible. Scott Adams, the observer of human folly, is now living it, the helplessness of waiting on forms and phone calls while your body betrays you, the vulnerability of asking for help from a place of power you once critiqued. There's something profoundly moving in his openness, The way he laid it all out on X, raw and unfiltered, trusting that vulnerability might just be the persuasion technique that works this time. And Trump's reply? It's a rare flash of humanity in the political arena, a nod that beyond the rallies and rhetoric, there's room for compassion when the stakes are this high. In a healthcare system strained by delays and denials, this moment shines a light on what's possible when someone with pull steps in, not as a savior, but as a catalyst to make the machine work for once. As we watch this unfold, our hearts ache for Scott, for the legacy he still has to leave, the laughs he still has to spark. But there's a flicker of hope here too, a chance that this 2025 battle, as the headlines are calling it, might end with Scott back at his drawing board, reminding us all that even in the darkest cubicle, there's a way to flip the script. We'll keep following this story, because stories like Scott's, they remind us why we fight, why we connect, why we root for the underdog, even when he's drawn millions of them. If this hit you as hard as it did me, hit that like button to show your support, and subscribe for more real stories that matter, the wins, the worries, the what-ifs that keep us human. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the updates on Scott's journey. Thanks for watching, stay curious, stay kind, and we'll see you next time.